they come on. I gotta say, continue there. First item on the agenda is the minutes of our March 1st meeting. Did anybody have any questions or comments about them? Am I being heard?
Yeah.
Okay.
No questions or comments. I actually looked for them. I didn't think I received them, but I'm sure I did.
Greg sends them out really promptly.
Yeah, I
Usually
looked
after.
through your email and Greg's, but it's probably an oversight. I'll look again.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would move that we accept the meetings as written.
I second it.
All those in favor by roll call vote. Phyllis, you're first on deck.
Aye.
Andy, you're next.
Aye.
Greg, you're next.
Aye, aye.
All right. Jason, you're next.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. So we got it passed unanimously. Okay. Public comments. Anyone have public comments? Actions cannot be taken by motions raised on this. Topics raised at this point. Seeing none and hearing none, we'll go on to that sea level rise. Without Chip here, we don't have much to say. We have not heard, I haven't heard from the town council people. I think I'm going to rattle cages on that because it's a good presentation. They should be made aware of things. I know that they're busy with the budget too, though. DPW, the correspondence on was only their email relative to Inlet Drive, as they called it, and I called it AKA Jack's Island. And they have no history of having maintained it. Paul Duarte commented that, you know, it was once owned by the guy that had Jack's Island who donated it. You know, the DPW guy Rick Rogers is saying, you know, he's got someone that's been there 20 years and has no history or recollection of ever having maintained it. You know, he asks, who has historically maintained the lane, where, when was the lane most recently maintained, and have we contacted any entity in the past to maintain it? And the answer is, we don't know, and no, we're contacting you. It's a town road. So I'll go back to him with that response and say, you know, can you go down with your brush cutter and a grader and just smooth it out? Not exactly, we're not asking for a paved highway. The various two boat ramps, we actually, unless we have anything new to add, we don't have anything on it. Any more? Yes.
Yeah, I got a question. So the what's needed, I haven't been there in a while, even though I can see it from my house pretty much, but is it just brush cutting or is it actually the road? Because I thought there was the big dip in the middle of it that makes it impassable after rains and stuff. So it basically needs grading and needs some fairly serious road work, even for a dirt road, I think.
Yeah, I think what it needs is some grading. And then, you know, if they took their brush cutter that they put up on the side of the highways and just hack the stuff back, I think that'd probably make a big improvement on it. I haven't gone down it in a long, long time. I have gone down it, and it was, you know, I had big typical potholes and such in it. But you do see vehicles down on that beach, and they're not great big, you know, Ford 150 jacked up 4x4s. They're little 4x4s that have more ground clearance than my car, but probably a lot less than, you know, other things. So you can get down there, but it's very difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went down it at the big, probably about a year ago, last March or April, and it was I mean, it's pretty narrow, like you say, and bushes are going in and very bumpy.
What did you go down in, Phyllis?
In my Audi.
Oh, So in fact,
Yeah.
unless you have one of those very big jacked up Audis, it's a pretty normal car.
Well, I'm pretty rough on it. So yeah, yeah. I've gone out of, on the Fogland thing in it and stuff like that too. So
Yeah. Okay. So it is passable. So it's not like it's not like we're trying to, create a road that doesn't exist.
yeah, there were a couple cars down there. That's why we actually didn't end up staying. We just turned around and came back. So there were a couple cars that made it.
It's
Couple
not always
cars.
passable by an automobile. There are times of the year when it's in really rough shape.
Yeah.
But I've been looking at it for about 6 or 7 years, and I've never seen any evidence of it ever getting any better. So I'm pretty sure that nobody maintains it.
Yeah.
I wasn't even quite sure when I was going on it whether it was it's like, is this somebody's house or is this a road? But I had heard that you could go down there.
Yeah. Watch out for those realtors. They'll find a house somewhere, anywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Andy, have you had any more success with your trying to analyze the U.S. Geological Survey stuff?
I have to admit, I have not touched it since last month. I've just been really busy getting a product out the door.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah. On that note, I don't know if other people have the view of the water I have, but about 2.5 weeks ago, I actually called the Portsmouth police because I didn't know if it was a boat in distress or what, but there was a remote sounder that was go down and sound on the bottom, and then every now and then come up to the surface, and it had a very impressive light display to keep people from hitting it.
Huh.
And when I spoke with the officer in Portsmouth, he said, no, they called us and told us what was going on, so on and so forth. And I said, so it's just there to drive you nuts? And he laughed and said, yes, exactly. So there might be some more information out there we can gather. I just got to find out who the heck that was. I should ask the guy who it was. Next item would be the dinghy landing at Stonebridge abutment. With regards to the Stonebridge abutment project, I've asked Dave to take the lead role on that and spearhead that. He's reached out to obviously Paul Duarte, because he was a member of the commission that was chirping at us long ago. He's also reaching out to the landscaper whose name escapes me right now, but it'll come to me in a minute. And he's reaching out to Jay Edwards, who is on the town council and an advocate for this as well. Because as with any public project like this, while we've been told by the town council that the budget is from last year and the money is still there and so on and so forth, gotta get your hands on it. Talk is cheap, but so we're going to ramp up. Anyone who wants to get involved in that, by all means, or has suggestions, by all means, speak to Dave or speak to myself. But I mean, it's going to be an exciting project. I think Greg found an old picture. Was it Greg or Andy? You guys are the watchdogs for the old pictures with like a double array of boats on it. Was that?
Yeah, that was Greg.
That was Greg?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's a good thing. Like yourself, I did not have a chance to dig through my files as I should relative to the elevation straps to find Jacques Alfonso from National Grid. But I think with the flooding that we're seeing elsewhere in the country lately, that will not be a hard sell because people are becoming more and more aware of the risks that are attendant with unexpected flash flooding. And this is a simple fix, a real simple fix. And I have 2 calls into Michael at actually it's the new business, the use of private Zoom for the THE meetings on harbor management plan. I put that on the agenda intentionally to sort of try to get it up into the radars of those who might have an opinion on that, the solicitor or whomever, to say you can't do it or you can do it, or here's how you do it. Because that's how we're going to get going on this. Of interesting note, I got a call now going down to aquaculture ordinances. The town of Portsmouth actually called me, their harbor commission, their chair, and their former chair called me. Tom Grieve is the former chair. They have 9 farms. He said only two of them only have a couple of cages down. He's wondering if they're, placeholding the things to try to market them later on to somebody. But their immediate issue, which is on their agenda for tomorrow, Wednesday night, for anyone who's got nothing to do, is a proposal for aquaculture over in Bluebell Cove, underneath the bridge over on the west side there of the Saconnet. And I gave him Capaldi's name. He's the guy that came and was so adamant. He's been the advocate for controlled growth of these things over on the West Bay. And so hopefully if you're intrigued by that, you may want to listen in, check out their website, their Zoom meeting. I'm sure it has to be posted. So go to the Secretary of State's website and get their agenda there. It's in the open meetings section if you go to the government area. We received a notice of it, but my feeling was it's over on the West Bay. It's not, on the other side and it's inside the Bluebell Cove. So there's virtually no way it can affect Tiverton, kind of thing.
Isn't there aquaculture already in there? I've seen.
There's some.
There is some.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, and I guess what's being proposed is a large array of floating type trays of some kind. I mean, we're going to have floating trays down off of Jack's Island there, and they're not as pretty as simply seeing little float balls, but at least they aren't the white sewer pipe ones that are really horrendous. Those are the ones that gave all that stuff a bad name long ago.
Is it a pretty big farm? Do you know that they're planning?
Evidently, it's pretty good size, but I didn't get into any details when they called me.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is the youth sailing that goes on over there in the summer. All the younger sailors, they.
Oh, you tow the kids through under the bridge, do you?
They get towed under there, and that's where they sail. The young ones, like the 5 to 7-year-olds. That's where they sail. There's also a regatta that occurs in those waters once a year too.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Mills I'm trying to think of the name of it. He runs it. It's not a yacht club regatta, but it's one that he's involved in. I'll find out about it. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It's Portsmouth, but that will affect the club in some way.
Well, then you may want to check in on the Portsmouth Harbor Commission. You know how to do that, going on the Secretary of State's website?
I'll recommend that to the newest, the Commodore. Now that maybe he wants to be involved in that. But yeah, I'll find that for their Harbor Commission in Portsmouth. Yeah,
the Harbor Commission. If you go to the Secretary of State's website, the easiest way I find to get to it is to go to the calendar, and it has meetings on given days, and I click on the day, and they're in sequential order, so you don't have to guess. The first one, the early morning ones, and then the later ones are at the bottom. So I find that easier than to try to do the 2 search engines and all that nonsense.
I'll try that.
Frustrated with
research.
In terms of what it is, our waters, I had occasion on Saturday to stop and speak with one of our lovely environmental police. He was on the Nanaquacket Bridge, going off the in towards the pond on foot. And so when I came back and he was back in his truck, I stopped and talked with him, and he was saying that the pond itself is open to shell fishing. He was just checking up on some shell fishing that was being done there. And from the bridge out towards the gut, towards the cut through the stone bridge, is closed. And I laughed. I said, I would have thought it would have been just the other way around. And he said, no, the pond itself is open, but from the bridge outwards is closed. And we were also talking about the hazards of the water this time of year, because the water's just barely, it's mid 40s, and you got about 10 seconds before you've got serious hypothermic issues on your hands. He said what drives them nuts is you see people in kayaks without wetsuits, and sometimes without life jackets, getting in their kayaks thinking it's a beautiful sunny day, and it might be, but they're sitting in 40-degree water. Very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to get on Mike's tail about the use of private Zoom. I apologize to you, Andy, for not having gotten back to you sooner. I didn't realize you were setting it up quite that quickly, but yeah. If we can use the private Zoom, then we can start working on darn harbor management plan more aggressively. If that's not our only item on our agenda, we can go all over it and not have to worry about details of the agenda. We just post it. And I thought Tyler was on and he was talking earlier. Is he still around or no? Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Tyler, how's it going?
Go ahead.
When's the boat going in?
The boat's in.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I went in last week.
Very good. How are the mooring registrations coming? I know I mailed mine.
Yeah, they're all flooding in. They're all getting processed.
Good. That'll make everybody happy. That'll make everybody happy. Anything you want to add to the program?
No, that's about it.
Yeah. Any issues coming up that you're seeing at all?
No, not really. I don't see any issues.
Okay. You having an assistant harbor master this year?
I do not.
Uh-huh.
So I'll be looking for one.
Okay. Well, if I turn in my retirement papers, maybe I'll give you a call.
There you go. We don't pay very much, but
Yeah, it's the messing with the boats, my friend. It's the messing with the boats.
it'll keep you busy.
Yeah. So we may be setting a record here. Anyone have any other comments? Greg's got a great smile on. He's thinking these minutes are gonna be the fastest he's ever done.
They're done now.
How's your shoulder doing, Jason? Good?
I wouldn't say good, but it's improving a little bit. I can
Yeah.
kind of do this now.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Remember my brother's wine bottle weight standard.
Right. That's the
It's a
thing.
good weight, and then it's nice,
16-ounce curl. It gets easier and easier, right? Really goes over.
That's right. It's medicinal.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else have any comments or questions? Sorry for being so short, but I guess that's a function of every now and then you get that way.
Well,
No sense in being longer than we need to be.
Phyllis would know you don't complain about the easy ones because you get plenty of tough ones.
Mhm.
That's how it goes. Well, I go to bed early, so I'm already falling asleep here.
When I was going out as Commodore at Bristol back in 2002, it was a January meeting, and I was sitting next to a guy who ultimately became Commodore as well, Dave Schwartz. And I was leaning forward into the issue, and then I suddenly sat back and let out a big sigh. And he was evidently violent enough. He was concerned. He goes, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." He goes, "Well, what was that all about?" I said, "I had an epiphany." He goes, "What's that?" I said, "It's not my problem." Yeah, well, very good. Well, then I'm going to love you and leave you and go relax, maybe have a beer. Continue to clean up after the wild shenanigans with my 2.5-year-old granddaughter. A lot of fun for 4 days. That being the case, let's see, it is currently 7:22. Anyone care to make Chip Lawrence's favorite motion? Phyllis?
I don't know, but
Move to adjourn?
move to adjourn. I thought he had something special.
No.
I'll second it.
Okay, Andy seconded it. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Bye.
Aye.
Good night.